Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. I want you to join me listening to a reply from Adongo, who is popularly known as Bolga Adam Smith, to Amin Anta, and also expose the MPP on their true state of the nation. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. Your comments are most important to us as well. Please do drop a comment at the comment section after watching. Thank you.
Is here at Platinum Place, Northridge, also live on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. So do get interactive with us, join us there and be a part of our feed tonight. Now, today is the 3rd of March. 3 days from today, Ghana will attain her 68th birthday. So at 68 years, what is the state of Ghana's economy? So we heard from former President Akufo-Addo, who mentioned in his last State of the Nation address that the economy is on the path to progress, path to recovery, path to prosperity. Then last week we heard from President John Dramani Mahama, who says that the economy is actually worse than we were made to believe by the former administration. And so following that, we've had a series of conversations on what the true state of the economy is. I'm sure you also heard from the minority when they also talked about what they believe is the true state of the economy. But tonight, recovery, and the NDC has also prioritized resetting of the economy because it was one of the biggest issues for the 2024 general election. So really, what is the plan for the economy, especially now that you know exactly how bad you say the economy was left?
Yes, so I was telling you that a bigger plank of our resetting agenda is to reset the fiscal framework.
Yes.
And by resetting the fiscal framework, we want to create a fiscal path leading to sustainability, and also that which ensures growth that is inclusive and generate jobs. So that is one of our major policies. Then the other one is that we want to have a monetary policy that anchors price development.
Okay.
So we want to have a handle on inflation. I was hearing your man say that John Mahama was wrong. The 18% is a deviation, minor deviations that are allowed. After all, this will be set by monetary consultation with the IMF. What is he saying?
You don't understand what he's saying?
You see, you are not disputing the number. You are not disputing that the inflation is 23%. You are scratching your head to find a reason why it is 23%. The 23% we are reporting is born out of the monetary consultation you had for 2024-2025. It is not now that we are going to set that. And when you came to Parliament, you came and said that your monetary consultation, normally they don't give you a static figure. They give you a figure based on an acceptable deviation. So you have 16 plus or minus 2, which is a deviation of 2%. So if you move to a deviation of 7, that is 350% deviation. In the classroom, such a student, he needs to join the younger ones that are now coming up. Do you understand that?
Right.
And you call it normal. How do you call a deviation of 350% normal? Huh? How do you call that normal? So, in other words, you knew the numbers. Your data suggested that you would do 23%, but you came and told the people it is 80. You know why they did that? Because they wanted, when you decide that you massage your inflation, what you do is that you also deflate, you massage the deflator on your growth.
Right.
So that you have a better growth rate, real growth rate. So they wanted to tell the people of Ghana that by the time they end the year, the economy will be better. So in doing so, they decided to massage inflation and they were caught. So how do you go to IMF, have an article what do you call a monetary consultation, you are aware that your inflation should be ending around 24, 26, and you went and agreed 16 plus 2. And you use that to come and deflate your nominal GDP so that you have a growth rate that is higher by the deflator in your inflation. Today when you are caught, you go back and say, why is John Mahama already reporting this? Because he shouldn't forget that he also go for a monetary consultation. John Mahama is not going there to lie to them.
He'll be very honest.
Yes.
About the state.
About the state. And when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is now telling the people of Ghana the truth, I wish he had said that, the 23% is not true. You say half full, it is the case of half full,
Half empty.
Half empty. Which one is full and which one is empty? 23% is 23%. Your 18% is 18%. There's nothing like full or half anywhere. Do you get a point?
Right.
So I listened and I found it difficult to see any number. If you tell us that when the EC or the energy sector debt you have left is lower than you inherited in 2017, tell us the numbers. Ghanaians can decipher. Can't Ghanaian tell which one is higher and which one is lower? Or, bro, is that not the case?
Right.
So tell us the numbers that you are using to dictate that it is lower here and it is higher here. Nothing. Just speak English and go. And you say this is the true state of the economy. The true state of the economy is not conjecture. It's not lying. It's about what the numbers say.
It's about the data.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you get up and say that His Excellency, by stopping your recklessness, he's a terminator.
Yes, he's terminated appointments, made people jobless.
Yes, it's true.
And people are going to suffer. And it's similar to what you people complained of when there was the banking sector cleanup.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a ruthless terminator.
A ruthless terminator.
He should go to National Service Authority and ask them. He terminated Ghost at National Service. He terminated National Cathedral. Or they have forgotten that His Excellency terminated renting private jets. In fact, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama terminated a non-existent CEO that was running a port that doesn't exist. So yes, he's a terminator.
But they're referring to the people who were the real human beings who were also employed after
terminator of recklessness.
And so
he is a terminator of Yeka. Terminator of default in payment and declaring bankruptcy. He has terminated that. Look, if the people were so properly employed, we will be employing people, Ghanaians. We will end up employing more than the people who have been asked to go home for irregularities and for the fact that we are not too sure that we even have a budget to take care of them.
So the basis was not just because they were employed after December 7th.
It's because it's a fiscal problem. You don't start, you see, you come, you understand tree. We'll give you a budget. Yabo akoma. No, I could do the approach of your fruit tree. This is a punchana in frame of film. Do you understand?
Right.
We'll give you a budget for a year. How on earth would you convince me that within 3 weeks you wanted to exhaust that budget? How is that possible?
Budget meant for a year.
And meant for a whole year. And you've forgotten that budget will also roll over to the following year because these are non-discretionary expenditures. And if you are not yet on the payroll, you are just like the ghost that was roaming in Elimina and Cape Coast. We must find a way to catch you and quarantine you. And they were not lucky. They had a ruthless terminator like His Excellency John Dramani that even the National Cathedral fears. This is the man who they succeeded in deceiving God and the clergy. But John Mahama lalai. Or be terminated one touch.
No, but he says that there'll be a conversation around it.
Oh, Master. Where will you get the money to go and put in that hole?
About the National Cathedral. So
the national conversations that are very important to us is the one that we are doing today. At the time, Amin Anta was holding a press conference.
Right.
The people of Ghana that love Ghana were busy discussing how to clear the mess that they left. You understand?
Right.
We were busy finding solutions to the wreckage, the recklessness, getting the economy out of the ICU. And he was the one who caused it, was busy holding press conferences. But I'm not surprised. Even in government, they were holding press conferences. I hear so far they've done about 50 press conferences.
They're trying to let people know their side of the story.
What is their story?
Is that not the beauty of democracy?
No, what is their story? You think the people you don't know when they voted them out and gave them 38%? Who are you going to tell your story? They know your story.
But they say you're not being truthful with that.
The people of Ghana have not been truthful after they gave you the beating. After the people told you that you are so reckless, you ruin our lives. A group of people whose economic management, a debt management strategy was to get even the vulnerable onto the streets. Or you didn't see them? You didn't see the agent demonstrating. These people,
Over the DDEP.
they don't know God. They don't know God. How can you get Sofia Kufu out of his room to come and be pleading after having served this country for all these years? People have died because they can't even buy their medication. The financial sector you came to meet was a full value chain, starting from banking to finance houses, to savings and loans, to microfinance. All of them, Yamutu, only banks, standing on one leg. And even that leg is limping. That leg that is limping, you still loaded 18 billion of losses on that bank, or on the banking sector that is already limping. 18 billion. Or you are not in this country. Look, I'm sure when you were in school, one of the best places that you dreamt of working is the banking sector. But today, nobody wants to go there.
I mean, I was a science student. I wanted to fly planes.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Before you fly the plane, you must live.
Yes, of course. But
and they end up in banking and they don't think about flying a plane anymore.
Right. Because it's very lucrative.
It was. Today. It was.
Right.
In fact, those guys that were seen as symbols of our banking sector are today are pale shadows of themselves.
And I know.
You remember Indum?
Yes, Papa Indum.
Ejumura.
Yes.
Now unemployed.
PK Amwabe.
The big guy, Inaku.
Yes.
A rising star. Gone. The UT bank, what is it?
But that's PK Amwabe.
Amwabe.
Prince Kofi Amwabe.
Prince Kofi Amwabe. Who bond up? Is that your colleague? Now today see him. UT bank. How can you look the face of an old man at the age of 78 and use a stroke of a pen to take away everything he toiled for until he got to 78 and ask him to start afresh? That was a very strong man to still be alive.
And you have had cause to talk so much about the banking sector cleanup.
Exactly.
And I remember, and I know for a fact that these names you're mentioning, including Seidu Agongo of
Heritage Bank,
had so much confidence that this was wrong that was done to them. For which reason they also believe that, well, under a different presidency, the story can be different. What is their fate under John Mahama? Let
me tell you, for every single bank that was taken down, I can show you 3 banks of worse record. Seidu Agongo has a company that sold land to the bank to build its offices. And the debt between them was 6 million. At the time, one of the banks had a subsidiary. I don't want to mention the names. That subsidiary was owing them 36 million, and they were classified as best one bank. Seidu Agongo had only 76% of the bank, or 77% of the bank. I know a bank that the owner had 99%. The 1% was owned by his wife. And yet they said Royal Bank was too exposed to Seidu Agongo. Do you understand that? We knew of a bank that for 3-4 years had never produced a financial statement, audited financial accounts. Completely in violation of the banking and special deposit protection taking act. Yes. But they were still alive and are still alive. We know of a bank that had capital deficit of 2 billion and are still alive. So quite clearly, it was not the issues they were raising. It was a political vendetta
against the banks that were closed.
Against the owners of the bank, they called their faces looked green.
So they believed and perceived that
the people who were running the bank, their faces looked blue, and these people, their faces were looking green. So we don't want green people here.
And so their banks were closed.
Yeah.
But now, what does their future look like?
I don't know. That's why there's a new central bank governor.
Right.
I don't want to pressure him. I want him to, he has his briefing from His Excellency and he knows what is expected. But okay, after he has been appointed, he becomes independent. And he's sworn in, he becomes independent.
Right.
And we believe that His Excellency has only signaled some of the ideas that he has, but the decision is his.
The decision lies with Johnson Esiama.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I want to believe that, just like His Excellency said at their swearing in, just like he said, I'm not going to ask you to print more money. He's also not going to ask him to determine the path of financial stability.
Right.
Because that is a technical work that is reserved for an independent Bank of Ghana. And I expect that His Excellency will give the Bank of Ghana the leverage to do their work.
Yeah. But you're a very good friend, the former finance minister. He mentions also at the press conference he had that looking at the banking sector now, evidence shows that the sector is robust and is stronger post the cleanup that was organized by the administration.
Ask him. He should come back and get his bank to pay the people that he owes. When the data bank is able to pay people their money, I would agree that the banking sector is robust.
So for you, the banking sector is not robust?
Not a data bank that cannot even open their offices because they are afraid of their own customers. But we are not aware. The data bank staff are afraid of their own customers.
Why are they afraid?
Because they are not paying them their monies. Omusika came and you are sitting somewhere having press statement. The best press statement is to ask your bank to pay the people they owe. Then I would agree with you that the banking sector is robust. What type of a robust financial system that doesn't pay its customers? Is that it?
But Data Bank is just one bank. Compared to the entire sector.
The one who managed the economy, his own bank is Koshoko, and you think that the others will be different. The one who had the privilege was going to borrow and carry his bank along. That bank that was going and feeding on our debt is surviving, is struggling. Those that were they didn't have the privilege to follow him to go and take commission. How do you expect them to be like? Go and read all our prospectus for the 3 billion a year euro bonds that we were borrowing, and find out how much of that money was being paid to Data Bank. And ask yourself, how can such a bank be struggling to pay people and expect those who were sitting here and could even feed on the crumbs to be strong, as he claims? The owners of those banks wish they had the opportunity to also hold press conferences.
And you say if they had those opportunities, the things that would come
press
out
conferences
would shake the foundations?
They only got up to realize that their banks had been surrounded by armed policemen with padlocks. He can hold press conferences. Those people would have wished to hold press conferences. Do you understand?
Right.
When he went to cabinet and convinced cabinet and the president to approve 29.9 billion to collapse the banks, what was he thinking? What was he thinking? That we'll forever forget? Or suddenly we're all going to die at a go? And there will not be accountability? Now you claim you are sick in the US. US is nowhere.
But there's evidence to substantiate that claim.
You just read something. Do you know that hospital?
They say Mayo Clinic.
No, I'm asking, do you know it?
No, I've not
Have you been there to check?
I've not been to the US.
So you believe in a sheet of paper?
You seem to not have trust in Ken Ofori-Atta.
Hey!
But why not?
What are you saying? Me?
You don't have any level of trust in Ken
Me?
Ofori-Atta?
At the peril of my life. Who dared that?
That's a former finance minister. The former president has so much confidence in him.
Look, I'm surprised that this country ended up with such a finance minister. To be honest with you, I'm very surprised that we ended up like that. I'm extremely surprised.
Why are you surprised? And looking at the level of challenge that we face in our sector, how much blame would you lay at his doorstep?
A finance minister who as late as February 2022 was convincing people to give us $3 billion because the economy was robust. February 2022, go and check our last Eurobond issuance. In 8 months' time, this man had written a letter to the same people that will campaign. He didn't even write to them. We call it, is it an open letter or to whom it may concern? You collect people's money and you inform them by to whom it concerns. Press release. If you happen to read it, know that what you are seeing is what I, Ken Oforiatta, has said. Bro, don't bring that matter. Let's have our conversation.
No, what level of blame will you give to him? Looking at our economy, what level of blame will you say he must shoulder in where we find ourselves currently?
You see, there's a difference between blame and criminality. Criminality must be proven, and I don't have the competence to do that.
Right.
But in the face of the way the economy was managed, the kind of debt management strategy that we ran, which was ultimately to default and declare our country bankrupt, is not forgivable. It's not forgivable. Because, you see, the essence of economic comparison is that, be it as it means, right. That's about economic management. So immediately you default on economic management, all that you are reading is bullshit. Excuse my language. They mean nothing. Look, we can no longer discuss debt to GDP. We can no longer discuss debt accumulation. We can no longer discuss international rating. In fact, we cannot even gauge the mood of the international community about our debt. In fact, our country has been rated out of the international capital market to a junk state. And the descendants are here holding press conferences in our land because we are a doyen of democracy.
Right. Well, I'm seeing so many comments on our Facebook stream, and so you can also join us on Facebook. Let me know exactly what your thoughts are. I'll make time to read some of those messages that you're dropping there. But your government has already been accused, as it stands now, of borrowing over 67 billion cedis from treasury bills. Now, your friend, Dr. Gideon Boakon, he says, this is so worrying, so disturbing. You should have not found yourselves in this. Mr. Dogo, why are you laughing?
Gideon Boakon, 4 years old.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? He says
how long can he continue to think that he can mislead us? Let me tell you, we have a net position.
Right.
What they are quoting is what we call gross financing needs. So your gross financing needs means that even if I borrow the same money on a monthly basis, so monthly basis, come and give me 2 billion, you give it to me. Next month, I come and say, okay, I'll go and borrow 2 billion to come and help pay off the old 2 billion. You add them, it's 4 billion. But we've forgotten that on a net basis, it's still back to 2 billion.
Yes.
Do you get the point? Right. So we have gross financing and we have net financing. Nobody uses gross financing. Gross financing only is important to the extent that you want to gauge the capacity of the country to generate the liquidity to support that level of borrowing. Do you get the point? But you are interested in your net, which is the portion that adds up your debts. And the finance minister has said that you recklessly borrowed and left us with 6 billion Ghana cedis a week. So, what do you call it? Honorable case at forcing. Even if he doesn't have any work to do, Thursday, he has to go to auction. His team has to go to Bank of Ghana to go and auction treasury bills. Latest Friday, we should close auction. Monday, every Monday we must do settlements. That is why today you saw that we did a settlement where 18 billion was given us, even though we're looking for less than that. We're looking for just about 7 billion. They came and gave us 18 billion. Do you understand? It's because what we took, the 7 billion we took, over 6.5 billion of that is to go and pay Gideon Boako's mess. Roll over Gideon Boako's 6.5 billion a week. And this man is just tabulating all his mess that we are clearing and putting them together and say that it looks so scary. You are the caricature. The caricature we are trying to drive out of the room is you. It is your 6.5 billion that we are clearing. And you won't keep quiet for us to clear your back. and thank us when you meet us at the corridor. Oh, you understand? And he is doing that responsibly. For 16 weeks, Ghanaians were so scared of this government that they were not willing to give them the amount of money they were asking for. So when you go to the market asking for 8 billion and they give you 6 billion, the 2 billion they refuse to give you, we call it uncovered auctions. For 16 weeks, they were getting uncovered auctions. We came every week, they bring us money that we say we don't need. Because of the confidence, the trust. What were they thinking when they told the people what were they thinking? That the people were so stupidly carry money and come and give them. They are aware that when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was the president, they were being paid.
Right.
So Papa Nabo.
So that confidence has returned.
Papa Nabo
Right.
That is the confidence that the Ghanaians have in us. As opposed to you, when 16 weeks continuous, not even some weeks, 16 continuous weeks, you were suffering uncovered auctions because Ghanaians were scared of you. Because your character is terrible, you don't pay. Then exit Akufo-Addo, come in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and people are waiting at the gate with monies. A reckless government that eats kinky and fish would have taken all the 18 billion. But we said no, we don't want 18 billion. Last week they brought us 20 billion, we took only 6.4. This week they brought us 18 billion, we said no, we want only 7. That is put up because we know that those monies are not for free. They have to be paid for.
Right.
Yanum will go and collect and come and eat kinky and fish as if they have developed Kotoka International Airport. How can you celebrate that? How can you celebrate that? And when it came to doing work, I hear them, they were there singing that, what do you call it? John Mahama Bako termination bebre. I saw, Amin after counting project they start after 8 years. You say you are started. What were you doing for all the 7 years?
Interesting.
Bako uncompleted projects bebre. Agenda 111 at Tokyo.
Oh, well, they said they've completed some.
Where?
About 3.
I haven't seen them.
Have fully been completed.
Have you seen them?
But let's
where? Don't they have location? The names. Why is it that when they are sick, they go and be lying at UGMC? When COVID came, they were all running around Bank of Ghana Hospital and UGMC.
Yes.
Didn't they go to Agenda 111? And go and sleep in the uncompleted building and see whether we
Agenda 111 was after COVID.
And so after COVID, what have they done? When did COVID disappear?
2020, 2021.
And we are in 2025.
Yes,
4 years later, for a project that was supposed to be completed in 1 year.
my guest this evening is the member of Parliament for Bolga Tanga Central. He's also a board member of Bank of Ghana, Isaac Adongo. We're having a conversation.
No, I want to make this plea.
Right.
Just address me as a member of Parliament. You know why?
Why?
Unless there's something fundamentally wrong at the Bank of Ghana, I want us to take it out.
Out of it?
Yeah. You see, Anderson did something that was wrong. He allowed so much scrutiny of the Bank of Ghana because every day he was so camera happy. Immediately he appears and you see a cameraman, Anderson will adjust his jacket and start running. When you do that, Bank of Ghana governors, they speak sparingly.
Right.
Just like finance ministers. Speak sparingly. Because whatever you say, give a signal, positive or negative.
Right.
So you are very calculated in speaking. And I do not want that level of introspection that Addison brought to bear on Bank of Ghana to be brought to bear on my colleague.
That's fine.
So I would prefer that
that's absolutely
anytime
fine.
I appear,
Yes.
let's focus. Fortunately, my constituents have given me a role, which
Yes.
I'm very proud of.
Right.
And that
as their representative in Parliament.
Exactly. That,
in the 9th Parliament.
That properly identified.
3 times running.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That properly identified.
But let's talk about the economic dialogue. Today we saw the opening ceremony.
Yes.
People have said it was beautiful and
Yeah.
it gives a certain level of confidence.
Yes.
But are you confident? People are also asking questions.
Extremely.
Questions were being asked.
Yeah.
If you're having a national economic dialogue, we did not see the NPP availing themselves.
You know, these guys are Ghanaians by birth, not Ghanaians by conduct. You know that. It happened in Senchi. Huh? Or you have forgotten that is their stock in trade. For them, we should fail so that they can come back to power and destroy the country further. They are not nationalistic. But for every one MPP expert who could have held the process, there are 1,001 Ghanaians of equal pedigree who are willing to help the process. So today what we did was for the finance minister to give indication of the broad outline of the issues, the complex issues that we want them to avail their minds to and to help us find solutions. From tomorrow and even part of today, they will begin to break into subject area experts who will delve deep into the data and come up with workable solutions. And we believe that by the time they are done, our Ghana will be better for it. Our budget will be a budget of our people, that the solutions are broad-based and demonstrate the principle of His Excellency to ensure consultative governance.
So you are confident that this would draw a proper roadmap to really address our economic challenges?
Absolutely. We have seriously heightened fiscal sustainability problems. Our fiscal risks are mounting. If they are able to deal with even 50% of that, I'm sure over the next couple of years we'll find the other 50%. We are having very serious issues of inclusive growth.
Right.
Growth not in terms of one person whose salary hits a bank account and the bank is shaking. No. Growth where everybody gets something at the end of the month or at the end of the year or at the end of the week, and you see the balance sheet where they are putting their money grow and it is a cake for everybody. That is what we want. But we want a lot of our unemployed youth who are wasting away to become economically productive. And that is why one of our key policy that you would have noticed is that we have a job proposal for every class of person.
Right. For
those that for some reason are unable to pursue the proper academic ladder, we have the National Apprenticeship Program to take care of them. For our youth who are now IT savvy, very smart on the phone, we want to generate the next generation of IT specialists, machine learning and IT specialists, artificial intelligence and the rest. And so our 1 million coders program would seek to help us provide digital jobs for our people.
Right.
Don't forget that when we built the digital center, we were able to do outsourcing or what we call the BPOP for over 1,000 youth who were there. We will send them back to continue to work and earn an income. We also know that we want to focus on agriculture and agribusiness, and His Excellency is very clear that if we are able to introduce and implement our agri mechanization centers, it would help to improve agriculture and reduce the slash and burn agriculture that we are doing, and put a lot of people to work. And if we can produce a lot of food from there, and some of them can be processed, even if they cannot be exported, they will help conserve the forests that would have used to import rice, maize,
and all
and the rest.
Things.
And 55,000 households. 55,000 households. in addition to a bonus of conserving $300 million of forex, scarce forex that you use to import chicken. We want to revive the poultry sector. And His Excellency is very clear what strategy to adopt. We also have a very good message for cocoa farmers. Cocoa sector is in serious trouble, and with Honorable Eric Opoku in the ship, we are very sure that here and the Abbey will turn things around. And His Excellency has instructed the Finance Minister to make sure that we optimize the allocation of resources to areas that can lead to the next transformation of our economy. And Jare is already talking everywhere that agribusiness is going to be the focus. And we all know what agribusiness can do, and we need to give her all the support.
And there's even a director at the presidency who is also going to supervise, Dr. Tupno, agribusiness, and all of those things.
And on top of all of this is the ice on the cake, which is the mainstreaming of 24-hour economy. Everything you do, think in terms of how you can do that 24-hour around the clock. Anything you do, think first and foremost about how you can do it around the clock. And if that succeeds, we are able to put about 30% of our activities that generate the economy under the 24-hour economy. There will be massive jobs and decent income for the youth of our country.
You seem to have a lot of confidence in the quality that Dr. Kasilatu Forson brings to the fore. You are even on record to have said that his elevation is worthy. It's something that really you believe that he'll be able to discharge his duties. How are you going to support him?
Let me tell you, I and Kasilatu Forson have been beneficiary of the backstopping role of many technical experts in our party. I can tell you that for every problem in the NDC, you have a lot of experts that support us. So KSL is going to have the support of Setepe, he's going to have the support of Nimoy, the Gachis, the Adongos of this world. So he's not alone. And that is what gives me the confidence that we can't allow him to fail, because if he fails, we have all failed. And we believe that His Excellency, with that one term, he wants to demonstrate that it is not how long you stay in office, but it's the impact you make within that relatively short period. And he will do it within 4 years. Much, much better than people have done to destroy our country in 8 years.
Interesting. And how are you also going to bring your expertise to the fore to support this vision of really making sure that the economy of Ghana bounces back?
First and foremost, you know, what we are doing is basically a validation of some of the things that we propose in our manifesto. And I was a key member of the manifesto committee. So some of them will be validated, and the nuances of how they will work, or whether they should be jettisoned because there's a better plan other than that, will be discussed. And we are very open to all manner of ideas. We are not going there with a fixed mentality that we want to do this and that is what we want to do. No, we want to do this. Do you think it's workable? How do we make it work? If it is not, it won't work. Why do you think it will not work? Okay, and what are the other alternative proposals that you have? We want to put everything together, and I'm quite sure that with the leadership style of His Excellency, unless you work with His Excellency, if he needs something from you, know that his calls will come at 2 a.m. That's the time he calls you.
So he runs a 24-hour economy.
That is how he has been, even in his previous regime. Those who work to solve the Doomsday problem will tell you that he will sleep and you will sleep. Okay, and he is back to default setting, where he is confronted with something very familiar, but this time it's multi-pronged. It's not just energy, but it's also the economy. It's about the extractive sector. It's about oil and gas. How all of a sudden, for almost 8 years, we've not been able to add on to what we left them. It's a wonder, and he wants to get back to it. And you can see that he's already resolving some of the challenges. ENI is happy, Springfield is happy, and together we can pull significant investment into the oil and gas sector, and be able to propel growth. So he has a lot. I mean, he wants to be able to support monetary policy and Bank of Ghana by making sure that fiscal policy is complementary of the effort. You cannot be talking about inflation when the production of maize is just non-existent. Bank of Ghana doesn't produce maize. Do you understand that? So if you go to the market and the price of rice is high, there is not much the Bank of Ghana can do. It is because it is a supply problem. And supply problems are fiscal problems. And he wants to put our money where our mouth is.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm quite positive, having worked with him for a while, that he's the right person at this time.
Interesting.
A general that has been recalled from retirement. To solve a problem.
Interesting. Now, I recall that in the lead up to the 2024 elections, one of the key promises that your government made, your party made, was to scrap certain taxes within about 120 days.
Yeah.
Now, your colleagues on the other side are on record to have said that now that you've been confronted with what you say is the reality, you are not going to stick to that promise of scrapping taxes.
What is their basis? How are they able to come to that conclusion?
That you'll not be able to raise enough money to run the country. For which reason you would need the revenue from those taxes to be able to run the ambitious plans and programs.
You know what they look? They look to me like school children. In school, you fail, and your friend is also going to write the same exams, and you are praying that he should also fail, so that at least you are two.
That's how it appears.
They are praying so hard that we fail.
No, but they say
so that
will
come and jump the queue.
They say you made lofty promises that you cannot, especially when it comes to the taxes that you described as draconian taxes that need to be scrapped.
I heard them say that they will resist introduction of any taxes. Unless, you see, in Parliament we don't brawl. We use this one and numbers.
Right.
You have your say. Right? But the people of Ghana gave us the mandate to manage this economy. And if we believe that a decision we have taken would inure to the benefit of our people, it would be suicidal for us to fail in that respect.
Right.
Not the mandate, the absolute mandate that the people of Ghana have given us. So ignore them. When they say, you don't agree, why are you going to beat us? 1 for 1, we are more than you. We can give you 3-1.
Oh, the mighty minority.
So we don't beat. We use our numbers. You can make noise and frustrate, but in the end, the transaction will happen.
So will you be able to stick to that promise of scrapping those taxes?
His Excellency has made that clear many times. I don't know how many times you want that. It's just like free SHS. He said that finally he came to Parliament and made sure that it entered the Hansard.
That it would not be scrapped.
In the Hansard, though, he came and said, I, John Dramani Mahama, do solemnly swear that I will not cancel free SHS. Even that one, they are still debating it. They say that is uninspiring. Hey, this is our country. We are really a democratic country.
Right.
So anybody can say what he wants. But the important thing is we have a country to run for 4 years.
Right.
And run and manage is what we are going to do. And we'll make sure that we will leave this country better than we came to inherit it after 4 years.
So how different will the John Mahama administration be from what we saw with the Akufo-Addo administration?
You're already seeing a difference. You're already seeing a difference. 16 ministers are supposed to 125. But you haven't seen that one.
Yes, we've seen that.
You've seen that one. Are you not excited about that?
But even that one, they've still accused you of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So telling us that you are going to have 60 ministers. Yes, you have 60 ministers, but the number of directors you never told us, and people
which of the directors? Which directors?
Well, they've told us about the directors that I was appointed.
Where?
In terms of
that didn't exist before.
Well,
that didn't exist before. Or the one His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to manage the presidency and go and sit at Ghana Standards Board, the Ghana Standards Authority. Are they counter all of that?
At least we didn't have.
You should go and look at the laws that established
coordinators did not exist.
The laws that existed that set them up provides for their employment to take care of the institutions.
Right.
And that's what His Excellency is doing. It's just that at this time he's putting faith in the youth and women to create the next generation of leaders for our political party. Some people for 8 years wasted it. We are giving the youth opportunity. We are ensuring affirmative action and bringing a lot of women into leadership and policy, and that is to demystify, the concept of leadership, and to make sure that my daughter, your daughter, we'll be confident that she can become the president.
I have 3 actually.
Yes. That is what we are doing. Isn't it beautiful in your face, in your sight? Very beautiful.
Right. So the priority is to make sure that young women, in fact, young people and then women are prioritized in this administration. And that'll bring the difference. I remember you have said it. John Dramani Mahama said it. Key people in your party have said it. That the economy that you have inherited is a crime scene.
Yes.
What's the assurance to the Ghanaian people?
Yeah, the assurance to the Ghanaian people is that we are not going to be reckless. We know that they work so hard to give us the resources that they entrust to our care, and we want to exercise the best fiduciary as possible and make sure that we place them first. So His Excellency says that you don't go and travel first class. When you look back, you see a lot of your countrymen and women in business class and in economy class. But it is even worse when you now think that you don't even want to have anything to do with your countrymen and women, and you want to fly alone in the air in a private jet. That arrogance will stop, and it has stopped already. You can be sure that we will not, in the face of the mounting difficulties of our people, go and dig some hole and throw $58 million in there. We won't do that. Okay? We will not look at our countrymen and women and rather allow ghosts to feed fat whilst our people are struggling for livelihood. We will not do that. So if that is what they are looking for, yes, there's a new wave. There's a change. We are going to manage a country where the policies that are run are emanating from you. You are telling us what to do. Even though the choices are ours, but we want your input to count.
Right.
And that is exactly what we are doing. We've done a forum for education because we know that education is a big issue for all the youth of our country. It is not just about finishing school, but it is also to prepare you for the future of world of work. You understand? So the paradigm that we've been operating over the years, the chew and pour kind of education, we want parents to tell us the kind of education they want to have for their children in the 21st century. When children are learning coding, they are learning AI and they are learning machine learning, we should be preparing and aspiring to that level.
Right.
And that is what we want to do.
And finally, before you go, and looking at the research agenda, how does the Bank of Ghana fit into all of that, of this administration?
Yeah, so the Bank of Ghana helps to provide the stability that the economy needs. Okay, some level of predictability and planning. If inflation is relatively within band, it means that one cost of living, if it's measured by the the value of a purchasing parity, of course you'll be able to spend fewer amount of money to get more goods and services than you currently do. We want to be able to improve the quality of the city.
Right.
We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to improve the interest rate so that we can generate capital to support businesses, particularly businesses of women and the young people that we want to encourage to find jobs in entrepreneurship. We want to be able to provide that avenue for them. And for women in particular, you are aware that we want to specifically discriminate in favor of them. Unapologetically, we want to set up a women development bank. And for our Zongo women, we are thinking about the Soyaya Fund that will target Zongo women. We are not setting up a Zongo ministry, no, but we'll do more for the Zongo people than the propaganda ministry that they set up. That is what we want to do.
Very well.
We want to be able to use the Bank of Ghana and the fiscal authorities to provide some stability of our currency.
Right.
So that pricing that sometimes is affected by inflation, the exchange rate losses and the rest would be moderated. And Dr. Siama has quite a big job to do. But I believe that the people of Ghana would support him anytime he comes knocking with some difficult decisions that he needs to make.
Very well. Honorable, thank you so much.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time. And once again, we say God bless you for the good work you are doing and continue to do for us. Without you, we are not in existence. God bless you. Much appreciation. Gracias.
Amin PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good.
say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.